how the world has dealt with people in the last 35 years. Because in the 1970s, we were in what I call a commodity economy, where people were seen merely as tools to get a job done. We were supposed to go to work at 8 or 9 in the morning and work straight through till home time. That work was based on a lot of repetition. If I wanted 80 copies of the conference handout, which you all have in front of you, I had to go down to the first floor to the typing pool and find Mavis and say to Mavis, "Excuse me, Mavis, could you type up 80 copies of this, please?" And of course, you only had to do it 40 times because she had carbon paper. I mean, and today a carbon footprint is something totally different. But she took that carbon paper, put it between 2 pieces of paper, and typed it out 40 times. There was no chance that we were each going to get one in colour, unless this conference was planned 6 months ago and we adopted offset printing. The focus of business was on consumers. It was pretty much a philosophy in business that said, let's just put it out there, and the more of it we put out there, the more of it people will buy. And we didn't really worry who was buying it as long as they bought it. And they did. And locally in South Africa, of course, we had the Soweto uprising in the 1970s. A strive for political change, a strive for freeing people from oppression. And the irony behind that is that the guys who were leading that struggle for freedom are today's managers, expecting the people they manage to be at work at 8:30, to do their job, to not ask too many questions, to leave at 4:30. And where's the freedom in that? And of course, there's Mavis at the typing pool on the first floor, who just kept doing the same thing over and over again. That's what people were paid to do. And the less we thought, the better it was for everybody. And we left the thinking up to the guys in the higher floors. And of course, that we know is changing. We then moved into the 1980s, where instead of a commodity economy, we now moved into a financial economy, and money now equaled power. All over the world, we had the emergence of the yuppies. And of course, in South Africa, we reinvented that now with the emergence of the buppies. Those are the black, upwardly mobile folks. But money equaled power, and the more of it I have, the more stuff I could buy. I showed that power in the way I dressed. Women had broader shoulders in the 80s than most men. And they had the hair to match. And during the 1980s, for the most part, people were used to create wealth for others. It was the guys at the top of the chain that were making money, and no one was too concerned about your rights as an employee, as somebody in support services. Maybe this is where the support services sales rivalry comes from, but we don't have that too much in Johnson & Johnson anymore, am I right? No, I am right, because after 6 years of working with you folks, I know things have changed. I think the 80s was encapsulated in the movie Wall Street, where the main character, Gordon Gekko, openly admits to everybody who would care to listen that he makes nothing, he sells nothing, he's just there to make money. For who? For himself. And of course, if we've seen the movie, we'll know that whoever gets left in the wake of that, sorry for you. The theme of corporate survival, win or be beaten, eat or be eaten. In the 1990s, we then moved into what I call the knowledge economy, because suddenly money was not that important to people anymore. I'm not saying it was not important at all, but knowledge became more important. And it was about what people knew, and knowledge equaled power. More people registered for MBAs in the 1990s than ever before and ever since. How do you know, by the way, when someone has an MBA? And I normally upset somebody in the audience, but that's okay. They tell you, yes. So now you've had your chance, right? But people then believed that once they had this knowledge, they had to hoard it. If they could hoard it, they could sell it. And of course, with the more knowledge people had, the more easy it was for them to get a conscience. And suddenly in the 1990s, consumers developed a conscience. And they chose whether they buy from our company based on what they know about our company, not just about our products. And green issues started rearing their heads. People were now concerned about what companies stand for, what they're interested in, what they're doing for the environment, what they're doing for, in terms of ethical stuff. Our consumers developed a conscience, but it all came to an end, the knowledge economy, at the end of the 1990s with the advent of Google. Because you know what, no matter what you think you're an expert in today, by this time tomorrow, if I know where to look, I can know as much as you do about your area of expertise. And if we're priding ourselves as a company that sells top range products, which we do, yes?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Now, what else is then going to set us apart? What stops our competitors from going to research the same stuff that we've done and copying us? Because let's be honest, we kind of rotate staff between pharmaceutical companies every couple of years anyway. People who leave us go to the competition, and when they see that the grass there is greener because there's more manure there, then they come back. And so we just rotate staff. What is it that sets us apart? If quality is no longer a factor, if the knowledge and the research that goes into our product is no longer a factor, the differential we have today is that we need to understand people. We need to understand that people buy our products, not simply because of the product and because of the name attached to it, but because of the experience they have in using it and dealing with our people. Service is a big part of that, absolutely right. In this experience economy, relationships equals power. The more high-tech we get, the more high-touch we need to be. In research done on internet marketing and internet sales, it shows that 85% of people will log out of an internet sale if there isn't a face behind the website that they're buying from. We buy from Amazon because it has a track record and there's a face behind it. Why? Because their founder and CEO is in the news every now and then. It becomes a lot easier to trust when we have that relationship. The more high-tech our products, the more high-touch we need to be with the people who use those products. Our clients and the people who work for us and the people who depend on us want more experiences. They want those experiences to be different and unique, and they want them to be ever-changing. What was good last week is not good this week. It's just same old, same old. What got us here won't get us there. And in a world that's changing as fast as it does, everyone in this room wants the people who depend on us to jump off the cliff with us and hope that the tide is in when we get to the bottom. Who watched a bit of sport yesterday afternoon?